Welcome to episode 40 of the Wiley Wire. I can't believe it's episode 40 already. We've done so many episodes in such a short period of time. I want to thank all my listeners as well. We got a lot to cover today. Alpha Gal ticks. Ticks in general are up 10,000%. We got a wild rescue of a roller coaster in Galveston, Texas. Firefighters rescued 8 students off a roller coaster. Amazing. We're going to cover that. The Save America bill. We're going to get into that as well. The Spurs Thunder series was amazing. The Spurs shocked the world with that Game 7 win. We'll talk about that and other trending news. Welcome to the Wiley Wire. So these ICE protests in New Jersey are so staged. It's so predictable to see what's going on. You had the governor attending the protests in the very beginning. Then she waited a week to get state law enforcement involved. It's all staged. It's all organized. It's all bullshit. I said it before. I'll say it again. I covered this in prior episodes. Don't go to these things if you're just going on your own. You're putting yourself in a bad spot. Most of the people there are organized and paid. I'm going to roll a clip of a reporter, Nick Sorter, who infiltrated one of the tents that they had set up that was loaded with food, water, protesting gear, gas masks, goggles. This stuff all costs money. It's not like me and 5 friends decided, let's go protest this ICE and stand there and peacefully hold signs up. This is not that. This is not a protest. Even the governor, because she's worried about her Democratic Party that's going to come down on her if she doesn't, trying to play both sides of the fence, and you can't do that. Peacefully protest. ICE isn't out to hurt anybody. ICE is here to deport people. That's what the majority of people voted for in this country. Whether you voted for it or not, it wasn't like President Trump said after he got elected he's going to start deporting people. He said it before he was elected. He said it in his first term. He said everything he's going to do, and he's done it. Now, you can argue against the Iran war. He didn't say he was going to do that, but with immigration, that's what he ran on. So whether you voted for him or not, this is what he said he was going to do, and he's doing it. Now, if you want to protest against that, go do it. But you can't do it violently. And to have people funding this is not grassroots protesting. Even the governor of New Jersey is saying that most of these people aren't even from New Jersey. They're coming from all over the country, setting up in these tents, organized protesting, riot gear. If you can't see this, whether you're for ICE, against ICE, and you're just kind of sitting at home wondering what's going on, it's not grassroots at all. I'm going to roll another clip of more reporting by this Nick Sorter showing you what's going on. But again, don't go to these things. You're going to put yourself in harm's way. You got agitators. You had somebody who was arrested because he was saying he's going to kill ICE, kill their family and all that. And this isn't America. You can argue it isn't America to pull an illegal out and deport them. But you also can argue it's not America saying you're going to kill law enforcement and kill their family. That's not America either. But I will again reiterate, Barack Obama has deported many, many people. Look up the numbers. And he wasn't running on that. He wasn't talking about it in his campaign. Trump's talked about it in his campaign. He said he's going to do this. But you look at the numbers, Obama and Trump, it's very similar. Obviously, at the end of the day, when this is all said and done, Trump's going to surpass Obama. But again, this is not how you protest. I don't think these are real protesters anyway. Most are from out of town. The New Jersey governor, who's a Democrat, said that, but she's slaying on the fence to keep her party happy and also to say, I want to get elected again, so I can't have law enforcement getting attacked. So she's playing both sides of the fence. We got Hakeem Jeffries saying ICE is terrible people and disobey them. This isn't good. Everyone needs to calm down. If you're here illegally and you snuck into the country, I do blame politicians for allowing it to happen. Biden being one of them. Biden's cabinet knew what they were doing. You gotta know when to say when. And this is the time. It's gotta be done by Democratic politicians. All politicians in Washington gotta put a stop to this immediately. Because if you don't, it shows that you're just a part of it. And I'm not about making the Democrats try to look bad. I don't care. I just don't want people to get hurt. I don't want police officers getting hurt. People are going to jail, screaming stuff at police officers. This is not a good thing. So it needs to end. And if you're going to protest against ICE, this is why America's great. You can do that. But do it with a sign. Do it with a chant. Screaming in somebody's face isn't going to help your cause. Martin Luther King said it. Peaceful protesting is the best way to push your cause, push your movement. He was the founder of the peaceful protest, and it worked. This isn't it, though. It's terrible to watch, and I hope it ends. They put a curfew out. Did they put that curfew out knowing that people aren't going to abide by it? There's going to be violence? Maybe. I don't know. Nothing seems rational at this point, but it needs to be stopped. They need to bring the National Guard, bring in more law enforcement, and we need to find out who's funding these things. Protests don't need to be funded. You can just show up, make your sign, peacefully protest, hold it up, and that's it. We don't need violence. If the protesters would peacefully protest, ICE officers wouldn't engage at all. They just stand there, and you'd show the world what you're against.
That's what I'm saying. If it's new, I'm going to do something to talk about. If someone else is coming to me and they're not actually, but I don't know right now. I'm probably not telling myself that's not there.
Do you know if there's hand sanitizer anywhere? Like, or wipes or something? I'm sorry, what?
Medical tent.
Medical tent? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Go to the medical tent and see if we get... Oh, lasagna! Look at that!
Say goodbye, you're back. I'm leaving.
I don't know how good these palanquin runs are or whatever.
Medical tent? Is that? Oh, you got it. Thank you. Just need hand sanitizer.
Okay. Yep, on that table.
Sounds good. Thank you.
They try to make it look like it's a grassroots effort out here, that it's just, random community members coming together and protesting out in the street against ICE. That is absolutely not what is going on out here. It is very well organized. It's well funded, and I infiltrated multiple times the camp that they had set up out here, as well as also a rioting learning session thing, or maybe I should say leering, I don't know, out here where they're teaching them how to pretend to be medics. They give them over $100 worth of equipment, send them in there to basically be the Antifa support staff. So when they go head to head with ICE and their clashes, they have people standing by with water to splash them in the face and get them right back into the fight. So it's concerning. But I mean, it's the same people organizing this all around the country. They're very good at it.
As you saw in that clip, he's giving you all the information, what he's seeing there. And nowadays it's like, you can't believe that because that could be fake. And just step out of it for a second. If you think that this isn't organized and that's a fake video, then nothing's real anymore. I mean, there's people getting bit in the arm. Think about biting somebody. Think how deranged you got to be to bite somebody. To me, it's gone to the point where whether you're against the mass deportations or not, that this is not a grassroots event. The people that are going to these things are obviously a little lost that you'd be willing to bite somebody. It's just nuts. And I'm going to roll one final clip of this. I thought this was crazy. It shows how this is organized. You got people sitting on grass on a hill, and this guy's talking about what you do with pepper spray and this and that. It feels like a small little army unit, and he's the commander. And it rubbed me the wrong way. Whether I was for ICE, against ICE, or this was a protest I was going to, it didn't matter what I was protesting, and I was watching people walk around like this, I'd be like, what is this? I think people are looking for something to be part of, have purpose, and I need to step back and go, okay, I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think this is what I signed up for. They're not from the state of New Jersey. They're coming in from all over, and this is the people they're following or telling to do this or telling to do that. They need some type of leader. It looks like this guy is some type of leadership role. Roll the clip of the people on the hill outside of the protest area getting trained on what you do with pepper spray.
The first thing that you do, you stop, you breathe, you put on your gloves. Do you understand? The last thing that I need is for you treating someone's burned face with contaminated hands and then infecting their eyes. The last thing that I need is you touching their face to treat them and then getting pepper spray all over your hands. Because then instead of treating them, I have to treat you. Okay? So again, by showing up and volunteering to do this training right now, and to be here in support of our community in this way, you are taking on responsibility. Do you understand? Okay. First thing you do is what?
If you want to throw it back to an old school vibe, then download the Starstream radio app. We play the best rock from 1970 to now. Enjoy 4 different stations, no skipping, just sit back and listen. Download the Starstream radio app today. We are also available on many other platforms, including iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and more.
So I want to talk about this alpha-gal syndrome due to tick bites. A lot of the reporting is saying, I'm going to play a clip from Newsmax that covers this. But there's a lot of cases in the East Coast. Tick bites in general are way up where hospitals are saying they've never seen this before. Geoengineered ticks, this has been going around since the 50s. I think that something's definitely going on with this. It's hard for me to believe that this just happened out of thin air. But Newsmax does a great job covering it. I'm going to roll a pretty long clip about it. But they talk about Bill Gates, how he invested in a lab-grown meat company. And also he's involved in geoengineering ticks. Is there a coincidence there? I have no proof of it. Newsmax seems to think so. I'm going to roll that clip. But it's wild. Ticks are bad. Go online and look at ticks, or go Instagram or whatever, and just in your search bar, put ticks. And you're going to see people. I saw a guy in Illinois. He had like boots on. I think he was a farmer. He had ticks all over him. And he's like, he's never seen it like this. He's like, even when he was like taking a walk outside, he's lived there his whole life. Ticks everywhere. So I don't know what's going on. Something's changed. It's not the climate. There's a lot of geoengineering going on, that's for sure. I'm going to get into more of that maybe in another episode, but roll the clip from Newsmax talking about this alpha-gal tick syndrome.
Alpha-gal syndrome was something that was once extremely rare in this country. That is a fact, but it is becoming more and more common as more people develop an allergy to red meat after getting bitten by a Lone Star tick, which is the tick you see with the white dot on its back. And over the last several years, cases of alpha-gal syndrome have skyrocketed by almost 10,000%. And now, headline after headline, all asking the same question: how could a tick-borne illness suddenly be impacting so many people, not just people living in rural America, but in suburban America as well? And then we heard from Dr. Matthew Lau at the World Science Festival 10 years ago.
People eat too much meat, right? And if they were to cut down on their consumption on meat, then it would actually really help the planet. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
Nick, great to have you back. Right now, there are 79 cases of alpha-gal syndrome in Rhode Island. They've never seen that before there. And 10 states are reporting more emergency room visits for tick bites than they've ever seen before. What do you think is really going on here?
Yeah, there's a major tick problem going on, and it appears nobody's talking about it. None of the large news outlets. This is very serious. We have to remember, a new study came out a few months ago, and they literally found alpha-gal syndrome, the incidence of alpha-gal syndrome, the allergy to red meat from the Lone Star ticks, skyrocketed up 10,000%. in just 10 years. And then we look to 2021 to 2024, it jumped up another 300%, another sharp increase. So something's going on. Something is driving these ticks.
Is that, the left is blaming it on climate change. I know you're an epidemiologist, but is that normal with an illness that's been around for a long time, like alpha-gal, to just suddenly be everywhere at the same time?
No, we do not believe this is actually from climate change. In fact, we have to start looking at government-related or NGO-related laboratory activities, especially given that the Gates Foundation gave over $7 million to a biotech company to make genetically engineered ticks, as well as the U.S. Army released 270,000 radioactive labeled ticks into the wild in the 1960s.
Yeah, let me ask you about that. I think we've got the headline because people just don't know about this. 278,000 radioactively labeled ticks in Virginia, in Montana, including Lone Star ticks. And they wanted to do this to see how fast they could spread disease. So do you think there's a connection? Maybe they're doing this again.
It's very possible. We know they did it in the past. We know that these NGOs, Gates Foundation, are funding sorts of activities. And lastly, we have seen a peer-reviewed paper published in the journal Bioethics. Professors from Western Michigan University, they lay out that they say it's morally required to intentionally genetically engineer Lone Star ticks to spread alpha-gal syndrome as a form of moral bioenhancement to stop people from eating meat. You can't make this up. So bioethics is now masquerading, or actually bioterrorism is masquerading as bioethics now.
As you saw in that long clip, it's hard for me to play a long clip in a podcast, but I wanted you to get the real data and see what this person had to say. You're talking 10,000% the amount of ticks in that period of time. And then the last 3 years, 4 years, it's up 300%. Yeah, it's not climate change. There's no doubt about it. Something's going on. Nobody's talking about it. And go look up some videos of people, regular everyday people that put videos out there showing how many ticks are out there. I'm not saying everything in that clip is true, but that's more believable than climate change to me. No doubt about it. So I'm interested to see what the government does about this. Find out, is there anybody behind this? And if what this person's saying is true in the clip I played, then somebody's got to go to jail for this. Geoengineering ticks is unreal. And this is a virus that's been around for a long time. It doesn't just spike like this out of nowhere. So there's definitely some truth to that video I played. I just don't know all the facts behind it. You've got to do your own research. But I'm leaning towards the geoengineering of these ticks than I am to climate change. No doubt about it.
Yeah, of course I know what voter ID is.
Okay. Chuck Schumer is saying that he's not going to support it come next week when they vote on the SAVE Act, which is a national voter ID law, because it's racist. He calls it Jim Crow 2.0. We're asking students today if they agree with him or if they support voter ID. What is your opinion?
I mean, yeah, it's not necessary. Voter fraud in this country is not an issue, and it never really has been.
Okay. Well, then if we pass the law, then nothing will change, right?
It restrict probably minority rights. People don't have access to getting IDs, so that would have an effect if it did pass.
Okay. How would it affect minorities?
Oh God, I hit the talking point. How would it?
I'll repeat the question. How would it affect minorities?
I'm just gonna end the conversation here. Thank you.
How would it affect minorities?
No, I'm good, man.
Or maybe you won't answer because you'd have to explain how black people can't obtain an ID? You weren't about to say that, were you?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah. Do you guys have an ID?
Yeah. An ID?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you have a form of identification.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it's racist to ask everybody, every American citizen, to present an ID when they go to vote in federal elections?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Why not?
I mean, like, you shouldn't be able to vote if you're not a citizen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Right? And that's not racist, right?
No.
How would it affect minorities? Minorities can't get an ID?
I'm good, bro. Go talk to someone else.
Okay, all right. Maybe you need to think about what you're about to say, because you're about to tell me that minorities cannot obtain ID, which is super prejudice.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
So I'm going to talk about this SAVE Act. You saw that clip I just rolled. That girl, you can see her on a lot of TikTok videos and other reels across social media. She's setting people up to basically say racist things. Because if you vote against the SAVE Act, you're basically racist. Because the whole point of the SAVE Act is make sure that if you have an ID, you can vote. And the whole argument is if you're a certain race, you're going to have a problem getting an ID. It's ridiculous. It's so stupid. It's the most racist thing I ever heard in my life. If someone can't get an ID, it doesn't matter what race you are. If you don't have the brain capacity to go get an ID, or you don't have an ID, that person's not voting anyway. So what's the big deal? Just pass it. What's the big fight for? And I really think it's cheating. That's got to be the only reason. Because it doesn't matter if you're left, right, center. Why wouldn't you want the elections to have voter ID, paper ballots, and you got to be a citizen. What's wrong with that? Doesn't make any sense. You'll get the most fair elections ever. And they'll never be like, oh, this person didn't win because of this, or these fake voters around here. We got people going to jail for voter fraud. You have to have an ID. You got to show up. No more mail-in ballots unless you're serving overseas or you have a scheduled trip or you're out of the country and you do your mail-in ballot. This is total nonsense. That person got cornered. I thought he'd just leave. He kept hanging around. She kept coming at him because she's right. What he was about to say was going to be racist. I don't understand what people are talking about. Anybody that lives in America has an ID. You need one to drive. You should need one to vote. You need a state ID to go buy liquor or cigarettes. You should need one to vote. It doesn't make any sense. Anybody that's against it, all they do is they throw out a Democrat talking point that they probably haven't thought through, and they're like, oh shoot, what they're saying is kind of racist. Why are they saying that? I don't know why they're saying that. I don't know why they care unless you're going to cheat. That's the only thing. Because if you're not cheating, you wouldn't care. I haven't heard any good argument of why they don't want this to pass. We can't pass the SAFE Act because it's hard to get an ID and all that nonsense. I haven't heard one argument that's against passing this bill where you need an ID to vote. I've never heard one argument that stands alone on its 2 feet that makes any sense to me. Period. The only way you wouldn't want this to pass is if you were going to cheat. That's it. It's not hard to get an ID. You need an ID for almost everything. Flying on a plane, buying liquor, buying cigarettes, driving a car. It doesn't make any sense to me. So if you haven't seen the footage of Galveston, Texas, that roller coaster that got stuck, 8 people on board, they were up there for hours. Firemen had to come in and rescue them individually. Their ladder was just high enough where they can reach them. If they were a little bit higher, they would have had to redo the whole rescue and figure out a different way to get them down. I can't even imagine being those 8 people up there. I'm not a big roller coaster guy anyways. After seeing this, I'm never going on one again. That's an absolute promise. What a job by the firemen. I'm going to roll a clip of some of the rescues, but if you see how calm they were, being at that, that height, dealing with 8 people, each one of them absolutely terrified. So not only do you have to be calm, but you have to try to calm the person you're rescuing down so they can be assisted. A lot of them didn't want to get out of the roller coasters. They're so scared of falling. What a job they did rescuing these 8 people. Amazing. Takes such courage, such patience, and having that calmness about you. That's what you need to rescue these kids, because if you're scared, they're going to be even more scared, and they were terrified at that point. So kudos to all these firemen that helped out and rescue these 8 people. I'm glad they're all safe, and it definitely will be questioning going on a roller coaster again, which I won't be. That's for sure. Unbelievable job. But roll the clip of the rescue of these 8 people in Galveston, Texas.
You're calm with the situation. There she is. That you just saw her feet come out of the car. 2 rescuers brought her out and carried her down onto the firefighter basket that's up here on ladder number 1. And as you can see, she is out and explained to them that it's going to be a while before we get you down, but we're going to get you down safely. Just bear with us and follow our instructions.
So I want to do an Iran update. A lot of people have been telling me, haven't talked about it. Is it because you were wrong? Or only reason I haven't talked about it is because nothing's really been happening. The Straits, I covered that. The ceasefire just been negotiating. And then obviously some things have changed with the ceasefire just recently. But I had it at 2 months. Obviously went over that. The ceasefire was a huge part of that. And just today, I'm hearing that President Trump put out a message on social media, Truth Social, and it looked pretty confident that there's some type of deal that's going to happen. Reading the words he had, it looks like there's something going to happen. And then he put out another post about Beirut, ordering the Israeli troops away from there, which he said they turned around. So there's some type of shift happening. No politician wants their poll numbers going down, and Trump's poll numbers are going down. This war has made his poll numbers go down. The beginning strikes that took away the nuclear weapons, I don't think it affected his poll numbers. Once this lingered on and the gas prices went up and the straits were closed, and he said he's willing to put the country in more financial strain for the future, that's not good for your poll numbers. He's being honest, and the poll numbers are honest. People don't want to pay high gas prices, so he knows he needs to get this over quickly. Iran knew by the poll numbers that they had a tiny bit of leverage, while we, USA, had all the cards. The poll numbers bought Iran time, and I hope to see the deal done soon. I hope my next episode, the deal's done, and it's all the things that we wanted. The Abraham Accords could have a lot more countries in it, and there can be complete peace. That's always going to be my wish and my hope, but we'll see what happens. I don't think he'd put that out. A lot of people are saying, oh, he does it for the stock market, but that's only going to last so long. Once you continue to do that, stock market goes up, then it goes down a little bit, then it goes back up. That's short-term stuff. Poll numbers going down for a while, that's not good. He knows that. His administration knows that. Iran knows that. And I think that's Iran's only card. But I don't think Trump's going to give in unless the Trump administration gets what it wants. And that's Iran with no nuclear weapon, no ability to buy a nuclear weapon, no terror on other countries. The biggest thing about countries like Iran, and you can look at North Korea as well, North Korea has a nuclear weapon. And that's a fear. Iran is probably going, well, we don't have a nuclear weapon, so whatever agreement we sign, someone can turn their back on it and oust whatever leaders in Iran. That's got to be their fear. And then having the Abraham Accords, maybe entry into that will solidify it a little more. I don't know what's in these plans. I don't know what's in this deal. But for America, no nuclear weapon for Iran, I think, is a good thing. I've said it before. If you can denuclearize every country, that would be a great thing. But that's another unforeseeable wish on my part. But that's my take on Iran. Hopefully my next episode, we're talking about the New Deal and we're going through it piece by piece, doing a whole episode on it. But until that happens, I'll keep you updated. And nothing much has been happening other than the ceasefire. It's just kind of a stalemate at this point.
Who goes in for the dunk, and the San Antonio Spurs have done it. There will be a new champion in the NBA. A new era has dawned. It's Wemby's West. The Spurs are going to the NBA Finals.
Look at the emotion from Wemby. Unbelievable. This is what you want to see. A young team growing up on the biggest stage. Look how his teammates.
So it's the Wemby now. The Spurs, Thunder. I had Thunder in 7 before the series started. I didn't think the Spurs had enough experience to go into the defending champions arena in a Game 7 and pull it out, and they did. They surprised me, but watching Wemby just alter shots and just take people out of their game, it's something I've never seen before. I've seen big men in the NBA. They're a little unorthodox, a little uncoordinated. They altered shots, but Wemby's a different big man. I've never seen a big man like this that can shoot, dribble, the athleticism. Basketball's never seen this. So I don't know what's going to happen the next 5 seasons. Let's just get their first title because I think they're going to trounce the Knicks. Nothing against the Knicks, but if the Thunder couldn't beat the Spurs, I don't see the Knicks beating the Spurs. Brunson's a smaller guy. He's going to have to shoot over Wemby. He's going to have to nail the three-pointers. He's going to have to shoot lights out. Karl Anthony Towns is going to have to play the series of his life. Both those guys together to have a chance of beating the Spurs, but I just don't see it happen. I got the Spurs in 5. All the Spurs got to do is just continue to play how they're playing because I don't see any team beating them. The Thunder took them to the brink, and I didn't see that Spurs team beating the Thunder at home. But again, Wemby is such an interesting player. He's such a special player that we haven't seen before. I don't see the Knicks having a chance against the Spurs. But what a series. It was a weird series because it's like each team felt like on most of their wins, there was a dominant win. Back and forth, like 10-point wins. The first game 1 was real close. Kind of set the tone for the series, but the back and forth victories by the Spurs and the Thunder and the Spurs it felt like 2 heavyweights just throwing knockout punches. I don't think the Knicks are going to have a chance. Nothing against New York, but I try to call balls and strikes, and I think that if you think the Knicks are going to beat the Spurs, I think you're out of your mind. You can mark this video. It's probably going to be turned into a reel, and I just don't see it happening. But we'll be back with our next segment. I want to talk about this PSG celebration turning into an absolute war zone in Paris. I'm laughing because it's just unbelievable that people that are celebrating a victory can absolutely destroy their city. I really have to think, though, there were some good fans there, and then the anarchists came, and then it just morphosized into just an absolute shit show in France. I can't believe that people would act this way, celebrating a soccer victory. I'm going to roll some footage of this. It's absolutely brutal. I mean, people getting run over by a car, fires. I don't know what's going on with people anymore. You can argue back in the day, certain people would act out of line when their team would win. They'd stand on a car, or you'd see a car get flipped or something. It's happened. This isn't new, but this was a different level of anarchy. Absolute destruction of your city. And I don't understand why people act like this. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why are you going to flip cars, run over people, smash businesses, light stuff on fire because your team won. I doubt any of those people can name anybody in the starting lineup for PSG. Maybe they can name one person. They're out to just loot, riot, act like idiots, and that's usually how it goes when any of these events take place. But what a debacle. Roll the clip of these hooligans in France celebrating PSG's victory.
I'm pleasure to introduce the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump.
Yeah. Questions that involve off the field topics, and for that I have a statement, and I hope I can answer as many of those questions that y'all may have. And I ask that can talk about football after that, and I hope that we can understand and respect that from each other. Obviously this was a unique opportunity. Being asked and given the opportunity to introduce the President of the United States. My thinking was pretty simple, in the fact of I've always loved this country. I have extended family.
I want to talk about this Jackson Dart controversy. And he was asked to introduce the president at an event, and he did so, and he got all this backlash. Jackson Dart, some of his teammates said some tough things, but I guess they recanted or they made up and they're all good now. It's just so stupid how the media drives people away from each other. It's gotta stop. If a president of the United States asks you to introduce them, I think that's a pretty big, monumental thing. And whether you voted for the president or not shouldn't matter. It's the president of the United States. So this kind of moves on to the America 250 celebration. I'll get to that in a second. But Jackson Dart had to do a press conference, and he didn't apologize. It was just the weirdest press conference. I was like, what did the guy do? He introduced the president of the United States? That's why you have to have a press conference? I haven't even had the press conference. But I bet the New York Giants put him up to doing it. I don't know what the point of it was. But moving on to the America 250 celebration, artists dropping out because they didn't know it was going to be political. When Barack Obama won the presidency, guess who he had sing? Kid Rock. And what Kid Rock told him is, I didn't vote for you. And they joked about it. We got to get back to that. We got to stop the media narrative to divide people so we can have a possibility of the next president, whoever it is, gets elected and somebody who is the musical act didn't even vote for him or her. This is America's 250-year celebration. You should be honored to be a musician there. You should go. You should have musicians that are from all genres representing America, whether you voted for Trump or not. This is for America. And Trump obviously is a very egotistical person. Everyone knows that. Anybody that runs for president is an egotistical person. There's no denying that. Some are more egotistical than others. It is what it is. I don't vote for a president that looks good. I vote for a president that wants to do the best for the country. And you get two choices. That's it. You get two choices. So when you have two choices, there's always going to be presidents in the White House you didn't vote for. But whether they're Democrat, Republican, that's the only way you're going to be in the White House, in my opinion. No independent's ever going to win. you got to respect the office. If Biden asked me to come, I would do it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even hesitate. If Biden asked me, did I vote for him? I'd say no. But I respect you as a president because you're the president. That's how we got to go. We got to get back to that. That's where our country's at its strongest. But at the same time, whoever's telling these artists not to do this concert are in some type of marketing or media, get out of this is bad for your look type thing. And it always backfires. I don't know why these musicians fall for this. It always backfires. And look at Jackson Dart. Great quarterback. Future star. He's getting all this heat because he introduced the president. And it's a scare tactic. You see artists dropping out now. It's like, oh, I can't do that. It's going to hurt my... It's other media relations people telling them this is good for you. This is bad for you. And they just listen. So a lot of these musicians got to grow some, you know what, do it for the country and be proud of the country and sing for the country. Not for Trump, not for your media people. Do it for the country. And it's sad that these people canceled. And I want to give a shout out to Vanilla Ice. I saw this. I didn't even know he was invited to do this, but Vanilla Ice supposedly is going to play at America's 250. And anybody remembers Vanilla Ice with his Ice Ice Baby song. I was like, whoa, Vanilla Ice. Can't even believe I haven't seen that guy in years. And he's performing at America's 250 rally. Should be cool to see. And I hope other artists recant their cancellation and come back, because I think it'd be good for the country to have everybody there, no matter who they voted for, performing. We'll be back with our next segment, and I'm going to roll this Vanilla Ice video.
Her 250th birthday. So they were booked, and then they said, I'm not going to do it. Martina McBride was one of them, and she said, I was presented with an opportunity to perform at a nonpartisan event. But that turned out to be misleading. I asked a lot of questions, and I was assured this was a nonpartisan event that was meant to celebrate all 50 states. I'd like to see what it is that she saw that was nonpartisan. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Young MC is also backing out, saying, despite the claims by organizers that events is nonpartisan, Spin Magazine describes it as Trump-backed, meaning Trump is involved in it because, I don't know, he's the president of the United States? Could be. Brett Michaels, this one just kills me. He also backing out. Unfortunately, what was presented to us as a celebration of our country has evolved into something much more divisive than what I agreed to be a part of. You know, part of what it makes it divisive is that you fall for the nonsense.
Yeah, the Commodores also were going to be performing, and they said, our music has always been our voice, and we choose not to publicly affiliate with any single political party. But as you said, this is what Vanilla Ice said. Watch.
I'm super honored to do this concert with everybody. We're going to bring back the 90s. Put your dancing shoes on. You'll be happy. Trust me, it's all about enjoying the great times of 250 years, man, from George Washington to now, and all the presidents and everybody in between. This is a magical event that's going to happen, and very rare. So I'm honored, man. This is going to be epic, and that's it. Proud to be an American, and proud and honored for this event.
Yeah, good on.
I want to talk about this Washington Nationals executive who was fired by the Nationals. He was caught undercover by the O'Keefe Media Group, I believe, and he talks about the inside media of the Washington Nationals. And one of the pitchers on the team is a devout Christian, has a lot of religious tattoos, and he commented about the Dodgers having drag queen nuns, and he wrote something about them mocking his religion. So the Nationals just took him out of all media relations things. He explains it in the video, those videos you see at the game where they ask each guy what their favorite food is or whatever, and they all come on screen. And everybody's probably seen that before if you go to a game, but yeah. So this guy is gone. He's out of any of that. So they just dropped him because of his religious beliefs. And that's a lawsuit. You can't do that. But the Nationals did. And he also talks about how they surveil all their fans and get a hold of their cookies and see cookies on their phone when they use the web at the stadium. You're logging onto the free Wi-Fi, and he's been fired immediately. But it just makes you really wonder what goes on in these organizations. I mean, this is about sports. The fans want to see the players. The fans just want to see the game. I think it's gotten too big at this point. And this doesn't just go for the Nationals. It goes for all sports organizations across the country. They're all probably doing this. I have no proof of that, but for this particular individual, we're talking about the Washington Nationals. There's so much about data about what the fan wants, what the fan buys. It doesn't surprise me. The surveilling the fans, it's kind of surprising to hear, but all the major corporations are doing it. They've been doing it to find out what you want, what you click, what you like. They send that data and put it in algorithms for your feed, what you're looking at. So it's unfortunate, but this is the world we live in. I'm glad this guy was fired. And I'm going to roll this clip from O'Keefe Media on the way out of this segment. Kind of breaks down what this guy said. It's eye-opening.
Community relations team. So like corporate social responsibility.
The director of community relations for the Washington Nationals of the MLB reveals unethical behavior within the management of the Washington baseball team, including religious discrimination against a starting pitcher.
One of our pitchers, dude, Trevor Williams, he is very Catholic. The Dodgers had a group out to the stadium who were drag queens who sometimes dressed up as nuns. He went on like a social media this is wrong, this is my religion, you all are mocking it. Because of that, we don't use him on social. Like when they're like, is a hot dog a sandwich? And like the players come up, you know what I mean? Like we don't ask him.
Potentially a violation of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Sean then also reveals the Nationals Park is executing a surveillance strategy on Washington Nationals fans.
If you ever come to a Nats game, there is someone on our team who is responsible for figuring out everything about you. We're getting a plethora of your Google history.
And claiming they're, quote, using baseball to make money by selling out to Palantir-like defense contractors.
We're trying to use baseball to make money. And a lot of that is like defense contractors, the Palantirs of the world.
Then he goes on to claim that some corporate meetings are segregated as women only or gay only.
They would be well within their rights to say if you don't identify as a member of the LGBTQIA plus population, you shouldn't be at this specific meeting. There are some spaces that should only be for those people.
And even discloses that he has a secret agenda to promote communism to Nationals fans.
There is a join the Communist Party poster up in my kitchen. I would love to find ways to every home run is a $100 donation. That's communism, you know what I mean? That's redistributing someone's wealth. And a lot of people will tell you when I come to a baseball game, I don't want to think about that shit. If you're a sports fan and we piss you off, where else are you going to go? Either way, I don't give a
shit. Worthy. We'll be back.
The Wiley Wire segment where Brandon asks, "What the fuck is this?"
So I want to talk about my WTF. It's all around going to the bathroom when you're an athlete. Funny as to say that, but it really is. So you have Carter Bryant. He's plays for the Spurs. Mid-game, leaves the bench, goes into the public restroom in the council of the stadium where the fans are, and it looked like none of the fans even recognized him. He just came in, did his business, and left. Went back down the tunnel and went back to his seat on the bench. I thought it was hilarious. Funny to see stuff like that. But it actually makes me roll into my real WTF. It's not Carter Bryant using a public washroom at the Spurs game. It's actually this tennis player. So he had diarrhea, I guess. He couldn't hold it. He had to go. And it was a big debacle. He's standing there trying to hold it while the judge tries to figure out if it's legal for him, as far as the tennis rules, to send him to the locker room to go to the bathroom so he can finish the tennis match. And the other tennis player is like, what the? I kind of understand because he gets a break, but the other guy gets a break too. It's fair is fair, I guess. I guess you could have disqualified him because he couldn't finish the match. You can go that route. But let the guy go to the bathroom, which they did. But it was just them standing around like trying to figure it out. The guy has diarrhea, needs to run to the bathroom. So they finally let him go. I just thought it was absolutely hilarious. I was like, couldn't believe I was watching this. But roll the clip of the tennis player pleading to the judge that he has to go to the bathroom. It's pretty funny. That's my WTF.
I'm going to shit on the court. You can see him after the game. No, but I can't. Just explain the situation, please. Who is the doctor? I'm going to shit on the court. I can't give much time.
Is it for medical reason? Or?
Yeah, I'm sick.
Do we know anything about that?
No. He has some stomach problems.
I have diarrhea. You speak French? J'ai la chiasse et j'ai envie d'aller aux toilettes. Je peux plus bouger, je vais chier sur le plat.
It could be a medical timeout, Karen. Sorry, I don't know anything. You can sit here for now. Yes, if it's urgent, he can do that.
Yeah. Touch, son of man. Touches the dirt.
Thanks for watching episode 40 of the Wiley Wire. I can't believe it's been 40 episodes already. I've had a lot of great feedback with the show. We thank you all for listening. We're going to have 40 more episodes coming your way in no time. I appreciate y'all listening. Follow us, like us, share us at the Wiley Wire. A like, a follow always helps. Thanks for staying wired, and we'll see you on Friday.
The Wiley Wire dives into sports, music, politics, health, and trending topics for entertainment, info, and education. Listener discretion advised. May include mature themes, explicit language, controversial views, or sensitive content. Not suitable for under 18 or all audiences. Parents, please supervise. All opinions from hosts, guests, and contributors are personal and don't reflect our official views. Information isn't guaranteed to be accurate. Do your own research and consult qualified professionals.